Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the showdown between the Skaven and the Demons of Chaos. It's going to be Sandwich facing off against Kark. I believe this was the grand finals of a recent tournament, and it is going to be the Skaven Unsummoned Lord facing off against Be'lakor. So two of the more powerful options for these respective factions. Obviously, if you're playing Skaven, getting the ability to have +8 leadership on your entire faction without the risk of having your Lord sniped is very, very good. Although I think even with that being used pretty much every time by top tier Skaven players, I think Skaven are still sitting at sub 50%. It's not like they're like a super powerful faction. I'd be curious to see how they would perform. If that got taken away from them, they would be objectively weaker. But I'm sure there could be buffs in other areas and whatnot. But yeah, it's a bunch of clan rats. Looks like it's going to be shielded variants just to get extra melee defense. And blues and pinks aren't terribly uncommon in this matchup, so having the shielded rats doesn't hurt. A couple ogres to have mass, because if you don't have any mass, Be'lakor can pretty much just do as he pleases. I mean, yes, you have rattling gunners and ways to kind of poke him down, but having a little bit of mass to try and stop him is essential. So yeah, clan rats, rat ogres, couple spears in the wings, and on the backside it is going to be the dreaded Skaven Slave Lord being unsummoned. Up in front we do have gutter runners. These are excellent against demons. If there's any sort of obviously if fleshhounds catch them it's going to go badly, but any of that demonic light armor is going to be nice. Be'lakor only has 45 armor, and a lot of other demonic units are typically pretty lightly armored, so having the gutter runners to poke them, slow them, apply a little bit of pressure can protect your precious rats. Now for the forces here of Kark, he is going to be coming in with a Festering Stooge line with some blues and Plague Bearers, bringing the best of both worlds here, and that's what's really fun about Demons of Chaos. You can kind of mix and match. I mean, granted, there's some pretty big discrepancies in terms of power level for the various demonic infantry. Like, Plague Bearers are really good, blues, very, very good. Demonettes are, I would say, pretty crappy. You rarely see them used. Bloodletters are okay. A little bit more niche. They're quite expensive. They're 800 gold and they die super quickly, right? So a lot of the factions you would want them against can bring adequate range to shoot them down. So got to be careful. Up here at Be'lakor, going to be getting the business here from the gutter runners, and gutter runners doing good damage. I mean, that's great. Like doing what, 400 or 500 damage to Be'lakor right out of the gates. He's going to pop the Shadow Shout and jump down. So the classic trick here is you send Be'lakor in, you pop his ward save, and the AI of your own units will pile in like this and attack. And then you cast Pit of Shades to nuke them. But it looks like the Ogre's going to be moving in. Clan Rat Spears probably going to be seeing a Pit of Shades soon. I mean, it's the only spell that was brought, so I would wager it's going to be used on these Clan Rats right here. But Be'lakor getting karate chopped by these Slingers certainly hurts. And now we got the Teeth Breakers coming out, baby. It's going to be the Arwar Rattling Gunners putting a ton of firepower downtown into big boy Be'lakor. And he's not going to be enjoying that one at all. And as the prophecy foretold, we do have the Pit of Shades coming down. One Clan Rat unit with shields, going to be paying the Troll Toll. Not going to be too much damage. Now we got Screamers coming in from the Demons of Chaos. This is some really aggressive play by Kark. Like, I don't know how this is going to work out for him. I mean, having Be'lakor take this much damage is just brutal. And yeah, he does rout a Rat Ogre unit, but right now he's pinned down by Howling Warp Gale from Ikitclaw. So Ikitclaw has come in from reinforcements on his... Oh yeah, he's on the Doom Wheel, baby. That's exciting. It's always the Flare, but now we got him on the Doom Wheel. I wonder if Kark is just going to be losing Be'lakor like right out of the gates, which would be pretty interesting for sure. Be'lakor looks like he's going to be able to get away. I mean, Be'lakor is pretty much impossible to break as it pertains to leadership. And Nurgle, I don't think, not Nurgle, excuse me, the demons I don't believe have any way of healing Be'lakor here, outside of his own personal healing, which procs when units are like routing near him, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, effect intensity increases between each unit in range with low leadership wavering. Yeah, okay, so you can see it's like... I guess over the course of a battle, he could rout off a bunch of like crappy rat units and chase them off the battlefield. Oh, and it looked like Be'lakor actually was healing during some of those engagements because he did have routing units. So yeah, he was getting some fat heals during all that. Screamers of Tzeentch in the backfield, jumping on the Teeth Breakers, a good call. Rat should be able to peel them off, and a good answer against these Screamers for the Skaven is actually Wolf Rats. Wolf Rats are excellent against them because Wolf Rats are infantry size, so the anti-large bonus of the Screamers doesn't really do much. And yeah, they're able to kind of chew through that melee defense very easily. Now, the main battle lines are clashing. Be'lakor still being an unholy terror, but I have to say, for the Skaven player, that's got to be a huge sigh of relief to have your opponent's, big centerpiece that beat up already. More Screamers being sent in, maybe going to be going after Ikitclaw. Do have the Chieftain on the far side, and now the Brave Rats of, I'm not sure what clan this is. I'm not familiar with the badge here, but Rats going to be engaging against Festering Stooges. Festering Stooges could probably take like 7 Clan Rat units in a row. If they just like moved in one at a time, the fact that they regenerate and they have amazing combat stats, they also regenerate, but in resurrect models makes them very scary. Pit of Shades attempts going down to the back on top of the Gutter Runners, but it looks like the Gutter Runners will be cackling all the way to the bank. as they are able to dodge that shot. And Ikit Claw going to be dropping some fat bombardments here with his brass orb, so that is his activated item, and it does pretty good damage against these type of infantry. So you can see here good work as the Exalted Plague Bearers and the Blues fight together. Objectives owned by Demons of Chaos, it's going to be 2 and 1. He also sent some Fleshhounds to grab the capturable tower on this map, which is not insane. It's certainly decent. It gives you a little bit of arrow fire, and it can make the difference if the battle's really, really close. And now Ikit Claw is going to be getting hunted over here. We see the Dark Prince Be'lakor going in for the kill, and certainly will give Ikit Claw a little bit of trouble. Curse of the Slug active, going to be putting his speed down to a pretty slow amount in 29. Be'lakor, though, can also be locked down by Howling Warp Gale, and that's the reason why Ikit Claw is super meta in this matchup. Honestly, Ikit Claw is just really good at most matchups. Skaven are pretty vulnerable to, flying harass and things diving their valuable pieces, so having an ability to lock down a really powerful flying piece like Be'lakor or like a dragon character with vampire counts or Hellsteed, whatever, it's very, very good. So Be'lakor does get locked down, and it's long, and Cleansing Ruin active on him as well. That did get nerfed recently, but it still does some pretty big damage, and your boy Be'lakor is going to be running for the hills as the Screamers do descend from, I was about to say the heavens, but from metaphorical hell, I suppose. And they do jump over here and go after Ikit Claw. So Ikit Claw is going to be rolling as he gets hunted down by the Screamers. Screamers a good answer against him if they can trap him and keep him pinned down. The front battle line is pretty pitched. Here we do have a bunch of clan rats just kind of slowly grinding down the Blues. Looks like more clan rats are on the side, and wolf rats were summoned in, so it looks like the wolf rat memo was received, and those guys will be there to handle any Screamers that do decide to dive deeply and greedily in the backfield. Although these Screamers here are causing massive havoc. They chase off the Teethbreakers. They also do big damage against the Rat Ogres, which they're pursuing. Overall, the Ogres should probably just turn around and fight and get a little bit of support from these rats. Now, looking at all the objectives, Be'lakor is at 900 HP in the shadows. So, I mean, without Be'lakor, he's the big centerpiece. If any of you guys have ever played Tabletop 40k and you play like Death Guard, for example, maybe you play Astra Militarum, which it should be called the Imperial Guard. But basically, you get the idea that you have these big centerpieces, right? So in the Imperial Guard, you might have like a Baneblade or something. For the Death Guard, you'll have Mortarion, or Imperial Knights, you'll have your big, scary centerpiece knight. And if that thing gets taken out, the rest of your army can often fold like a piece of paper because, most of the value is put into such big characters, and that constantly is kind of the Be'lakor show, because every Demons of Chaos player and their dog typically brings Be'lakor. So as if you're in the meta or adjusting to the meta, you can know this, and you can just bring an answer to Be'lakor, which Howling Warp Gale, Rattling Gunners, Skaven Slaves, not Skaven Slaves, but Gutter Runners, and your boy Be'lakor is kind of just hiding on the backside of the map now. Now Demons do have a pretty substantial lead. Here we do have Exalted Plague Bearers fighting. We have Exalted Plague Bearers here on this side, and down to the pits we do have some Nurglings. Nurglings trade pretty well in the Clan Rats in my experience. They're poison, they're unbreakable strats, they're high melee defense at 33 when they're engaged is pretty good, but yeah, the Blue Horse just getting worn down, and who's causing a ton of havoc is Ikit Claw. He's blasting that sweet Fred Durst out of his speakers, and it's just popping popcorn. Anti-infantry Doom Wheel here, able to run over some Nurglings, and that is that's literally like popcorn being popped right there. But yeah, Doom Wheels are awesome. I'm really happy to see this. This is very fun stuff here from Sandwich. 1,400 value so far. Is Be'lakor going to be hiding in the back? Yes, he is. Be'lakor only has 900 HP, and Demons have pretty good leadership compared to Undead, but if Be'lakor were to die, it would be a massive leadership tank for the team, but it's not quite the point where you want to get rid of Be'lakor. If you're Kark, what you do is you just kind of keep him in the shadows, wait for the armies to get a little bit more beat up, and then maybe try and chase off some rats to maximize some healing. So it's going to be Blue summoned in, and I would wager the Demon's going to be trying to Helm's Deep at this point. Oh my god, are these Seeker Chariots? Oh my god, you never see these things. We got Seeker Chariots in here. Now these things are the quintessential glass cannon, but they do a bit of damage if they can get in. You can see they're running over quite a bit of rats as we get a nice little cinematic shot of them blazing through those foul vermin right there. Here the Night Runner Slingers just waiting for the return of the Dark Prince Be'lakor as he waits in the shadows and the wings. He is the Prince of Shadows, I suppose, so that certainly makes sense. 981 HP, though. Won't hold up terribly long against even Skaven Slave Slingers. Could probably finish him at this point with their little pebbles. Here we see Ikit Claw being chased down by Screamers of Tzeentch, and a Brass Orb attempt going to be dodged by the Festering Stooges. It's not often you hear dodge and Nurgle in the same sentence, but they were able to dodge that right there. And they do move up on the point, and they are going to be taking that from the Skaven. Skaven leadership is what it is. We have a lot of rats that need to be unsummoned here, so certainly some housekeeping that the Skaven player needs to do. If you don't unsummon effectively, it's going to be a problem. You're going to run out of your line infantry, and you're not going to be able to get up on the point. So Be'lakor trying to shut down these clan rats. That's a good call. Get rid of the capture weight here if you can get a little terror out on those guys. Demons of Chaos going to be flipping this, but I think that the clan rats with the support from your boy Ikit should be able to hold on to this, and there actually is some Fleshhounds of Khorne coming over here. Okay, the Fleshhounds will provide a 3 capture weight if I'm not mistaken. And here the Screamers of Tzeentch chasing. Capture weight still favors the clan rats. We got wolf rats coming in, ogres as well. And somehow this game is kind of close. With Be'lakor getting beaten up like that, you think it wouldn't be, but here comes the big chariot charge. Oh my god, those poor rats just getting absolutely obliterated. Didn't do as much damage as you would think. I mean, those are Skaven Slave Slingers, so that one charge was like 35 gold worth of damage, right? You have to, it looks devastating, but really you have to take into account what they're running over, which is like 100, 200 gold unit. So back in the pits here, the brave clan rats fighting off these screamers and now trading incredibly well against the Fleshhounds, backed up by the wolf rats with the poison, mitigating some of their stats as well. Bellicor, where did the Dark Prince go? Okay, he's running on the... Look at Bellicor. Bellicor's running, and oh my god, is Ikit going to grab the tower? So Ikit could grab the tower right here, and it might... No, I think it only shoots that way. Okay, I was going to say it'd be hilarious. Oh, but he gets the Flensing Rune. Oh, Howling Warp Gale plus Flensing Rune. It's coming, dude. Fasten your seatbelts. This will probably finish the job. So Ikit Claw saving that wins the magic all game. And yeah, really dealing with Bellicor is the hardest part of this matchup, right? So here comes Bellicor. But that's not to say demons could adjust and go wide and not bring Bellicor. They could bring like one of the cheap Herald Lords. There's plenty of ways to, you know, counter the thing that's trying to counter the meta, right? So Flensing Rune goes down and that spell lasts for like 10 minutes. Bellicor does pop the Shadow Shroud, which is very nice. Going to be giving him a little bit of ward save. Uh-oh, is Bellicor going to actually get some damage on Ikit here? So Ikit does get the tower, and now we have a capturable tower here for the Skaven, which is going to be shooting into the side of these blue horrors here, which is not insignificant. It's not insignificant at all. Here comes the chase here is Bellicor with 200 HP, 100 HP. And he's still not broken. Like, Bellicor literally has like 75 HP. And finally, the Prince of Chaos will fall. Everybody's favorite character to play against is going to be dissipating to ash here as the Fleshhounds do come to try and salvage what's left here on the battlefield. So Skaven overwhelming. There's bodies and bodies and swarms and zergs. Seeker Chariot's probably going to be dying to spears, I would imagine. But the Festering Stooges, as I said, just absolute linebackers, very, very tough to kill. On this back objective, you see the Skaven have taken over. Fleshhound's going to be swarming across the side. And you know what? This is still like a close enough game. Considering Bellicor's healing, I mean, there is a chance the demons could come back if the Skaven do make some, you know, catastrophic play mistakes. If they find a way to maybe lose Ikit Claw, that could be a changing of the pace. We'll have to see. So demons only own one objective right now. Skaven do own two, but I believe Skaven do need a triple cap right now. They need to at least like get an objective for some time. Their opponent more than doubles their score, and they, you know, would be able to win on just this one back point. So they could Helm's Deep it. They could keep pressuring for multiple points, but now we just have a bunch of haggard little demons here trying to do battle with Ikit. But Ikit's great here. I don't know if he has Brass Orb, but another Flensing Rune could be quite good, as all these little demonic creatures are going to be getting run over by the Doom Wheel here. Unlimited Power is active. Big power recharge rate. It does do a little bit of damage to him, if I'm not mistaken. I think Unlimited Power does kind of zap you yourself when it is active, but this tower up top is probably helping them out quite a bit. I would really wish we could like see the value on these towers. It's kind of a cool thing, you know, having played some other games recently and seeing like these kind of capturable points that yield like different benefits. It's kind of fun to see that in Total War. I was a little bit opposed to it when I was more of the kind of traditional boomer and just kind of looking at Total War from what we've had for years, but it is kind of fun. On the other side, although the thing is, it favors certain factions. Like certain factions would be exponentially better at just grabbing this tower, right? So you'd have to look at it from a balanced perspective as well. Seeker Chariot's up to 197 kills. I bet you their value barely exceeds 500. Let's see. No, okay, but 750, not bad. So basically 2 clan rats worth of units, and they cost around that much. I think they cost like 700 or 800, so they paid for themselves, still causing havoc. Festering Stooges, nowhere near their healing cap. So the problem for the Skaven is these guys could regenerate over time, and you know, if those Seeker Chariots can keep pounding, although it looks like the Rat Ogre is going to be trying to catch them here, but great micro by Kark as he continues to maneuver, and it looks like there could be a little bit of a demonic comeback here, guys, as we see the demons starting to get some Fleshhounds and Nurglings out, pushing back some Skaven forces. And here we see Nurglings moving on over to Objective 1 right here, so that is going to be that's going to be something. Wolf Rats, they're not the magic damage variant, so not going to be super amazing against Nurglings. I mean, they still have decent DPS at 30 melee attack and 26 weapon strength. Might be able to pop some popcorn, but Nurglings do get a melee attack buff when they're in melee combat here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, it's the Cloud of Flies. So it's only, I believe it's only active for a short period of time. I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, the Nurglings, yeah, it looks like it's constantly active here. So 33 seconds as they fight those Wolfhounds. Should be able to win that fight. They also have Fleshhound support, so suddenly it kind of looks like the demons are scrapping back into this game. The value is only within like 600, which before it was a lot. It was like 2,000 or 3,000, but the Demons of Chaos have been taking these very favorable trades with their little kind of rat infantry around the battlefield. And looks like the Wolf Rat's going to be breaking here in a moment, but not before they start to pop these Nurglings, which are unstable. Demons crumble very quickly compared to Undead, even despite some of the changes. But demons have higher base leadership. That's kind of the trade-off there. So Fleshhounds being surrounded here. We got Rat Ogres and Spears making their way in. And that is going to be goodnight to the Sweet Prince, the Fleshhound here. On the backside, we see Objective 3, firmly held by the Skaven. Festering Stooges have just been absolute middle linebackers this entire game. Sitting at 290 kills, 1,500 value. So they paid for themselves, just kind of grinding down clan rats and various other pieces. 1,400 HP, still plenty of healing. So if they can, somehow win this fight against these clan rats need to go around the back and support them. They still have a lot of HP they could regenerate and or resurrect models is essentially what I was trying to articulate there. So Blues are here. This objective might actually go to the Demons of Chaos up on the high ground. We see the Rats holding on to this objective. Kark sitting at, okay, he's almost at 1,200 right now, and now he's got Plague Toads coming up. Plague Toads are a pretty bad unit, but if there's any matchup in which they are viable and actually decent, it's against Skaven. They're pretty good against like baseline Clan Rat spam. They have a bonus for infantry, and yeah, they get the job done against a lot of these kind of Skaven chaff units, especially if you kind of stack them with Nurglings and those type of Plague Bearer units. But even still, the Clan Rat Spears are kind of shaking them down. The tower up on the high ground owned by the Skaven is putting a little bit of hurt onto those guys, and the Skaven might be able to get a little bit of momentum back here. Now, Fleshhounds of Khorne being dragged down by Night Runners, and Night Runners should be able to win that fight. But as was foretold, it looks like the Forces of Chaos are able to finally get this objective back here. So that's a little bit scary, because Kark currently owns objective number 2, although it looks like there's a cheeky Wolf Rat theft right here. Kark does have some blues coming in, but they're a little ways off. They should get there in time before the objective does slip. And on the backside, looking up at objective number 3, it's owned by the Demons of Chaos here, but Clan Rats and Ogres and more of that good stuff is on the way in. Clan Rat Spears should be able to fight off Fleshhounds extremely cost effectively. Are they the shielded variant? They are, so very well played. And knowing that blues are viable, I don't think pinks are terribly common in this matchup, but yeah, the shielded spears, really good choice. Ogre's also going to be moving in, taking those guys to Pound Town. It looks like a couple more rats coming back in, and it seems as if the Skaven are finally taking over the game. They're finally taking the reward of taking down the Dark Prince Be'lakor. And that's going to be a triple cap. And now, like, the score is going to be close enough that the Skaven could win on 2 objectives here. It is 1,300. It's very dicey, but he's going to get a triple cap for long enough that the Demons of Chaos would need to capture multiple objectives to get back. And looking at the battlefield here, they're very low on assets here. Blues, we got Screamers up on the high ground. The tower still taken by the Demons of Chaos. Look at that. Kark on the back point. He's got some Fleshhounds, maybe able to nibble this one back, but the Clan Rat Spear tech with shields, proven to be very good here. So looking around, I really don't think there's any way the Demons of Chaos can come back. It's going to be a rock hard triple cap here, so we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding. I hope, if I'm proven wrong, we'll slow this down and go back to basic speed here, as we do see the Clan Rats fighting off these demons here. Ogres moving in to kind of serve as a screen. You can see Wolf Rats being sacrificed, but now the score is close enough, right, with the triple cap, that we do see the dreaded Sandwich doing RTK proud as he does take the tournament victory here. GG, that was a really interesting game. I mean, obviously, Kark was extremely reckless with Be'lakor, and that's why he lost the game. But even still, what was fun about that replay is that Kark, despite losing Be'lakor, showed why he's one of the top players in the world. You can see he's currently 1 or 2 on the leaderboard. I think he's number 2 at the moment. Houseplant might be number 1, yeah. But his ability to play from behind and like bring the value back and almost make that a close game with such a catastrophic throw in the beginning was really impressive. And Sandwich did a great job too. I love the tech. Obviously, the Clan Rat Spear spam was really good against the Toads and the Fleshhounds and some of the big threats. And he brought Death Globe Bombardiers. We didn't get to see those. Good slinger play, really good slinger player. Great Rattling Gunners. Classic Skaven against Demons of Chaos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. We'll see you next time. GG, well played to both these players. 1,500 here on the Old Festering Stooges, and that is it for today.